Welcome to your new career with Stage Stores, where we place a high priority on safety. Takes a team effort, and your job on the safety team is to use care and caution while working and to follow the company's safety procedures. We'll talk about and demonstrate some of those procedures today. A is for accident prevention. You can do your part by learning the company's safety procedures and making them a part of your daily work routine. If you see an unsafe situation or have an accident or injury, report it to your supervisor immediately. Pathogens are viruses that are carried in blood or other bodily fluids. In case you ever have to clean up a stained area or handle stained merchandise, each store provides protective rubber gloves. Be sure to use them anytime you may be exposed to bodily fluids. C is for customer safety. Our customers deserve your genuine concern when they have an accident in our stores. You can do that in 3 easy steps. First, stop what you're doing and show genuine concern for the customer's well-being. It's okay to say, "I'm sorry you got hurt." That's different from admitting fault in the incident. Second, offer the customer the use of the first aid kit. You may have to administer the treatment in an emergency. Third, quickly call for a manager to take a report. Every incident, no matter how minor, should be reported. And remember to be courteous. D is for drug-free workplace. We comply with federal, state, and local drug laws for the protection of our associates, our customers, the company's property, and reputation. The possession, sale, or use of drugs in a manner not authorized by law is prohibited. Additionally, being at work under the influence of illegal drugs is prohibited. Where allowed by law, our policy calls for post-accident drug screening. E is for electrical safety. The Risk Management Department recently took a report on an associate who received an electric shock while plugging in a vacuum cleaner. When asked if the outlet was in any way hazardous, a manager replied, "Yes. It looks as though someone plugged in an extension cord into the top socket, the prongs broke off and stuck, so they just taped it over and didn't report it." Improper procedure, lack of caution, or just plain inattention to good safety practices are the major causes of most electric accidents. Don't take anything for granted. Make a visual inspection of electrical equipment for damage before each and every use. If a problem exists, don't use it. Report it to your supervisor immediately. F is for fire safety. Your work area has emergency evacuation maps posted showing locations of emergency exits and fire extinguishers. Review one of these maps and learn where exits and extinguishers are located. Make sure that all entrances, aisles, and exits are unobstructed at all times. In case of a fire, clear all customers and associates from the store immediately. Call 911. If it's safe, attempt to confine the fire by shutting doors and windows in the room where the fire is burning. If the fire is small, you may choose to use a fire extinguisher to put it out. Make sure you use the correct extinguisher for the type of fire you're fighting. Do not attempt to fight a large fire. Here are the 4 steps to using a fire extinguisher. Pull the pin. Stand back about 8 feet. Aim the hose at the base of the fire and squeeze the trigger. Aim low at the base of the fire and make sure your first shot is on target. The fire extinguisher only lasts about 3 to 20 seconds. Squeeze the handle and sweep from side to side. Protect yourself at all times. Stay low and avoid breathing the fumes of the extinguishing agent. If the fire starts to spread or threatens your escape route, get out immediately. Never attempt to re-enter a burning building to rescue possessions. They're replaceable. Lives are not. G is for good housekeeping. It's the responsibility of every associate to maintain their work area in a safe condition for themselves, their coworkers, and their customers. Pay special attention to dressing rooms. Check to be sure the doors close properly, curtain rods are sturdy, and the bench is stable. Frequently check to be sure the floor is free of security tags, pins, hangers, or merchandise. Do your best to keep the sales floor clear of totes, rolling racks, merchandise, or trash at all times. Look for holes or depressions in carpet or tile floors and report those to your supervisor. Don't store material on stairways. A well-ordered, neat, and clean work environment is a safe work environment. H is for horseplay. Horseplay is not allowed. Practical jokes can cause serious injury. Pulling a chair out from someone who is sitting down or throwing hangers at a coworker may seem funny until an injury occurs. Safety is achieved by taking safety procedures seriously. Every time associates engage in horseplay, they're taking a gamble, betting that an accident will not occur. Is anyone's health worth such a bet? I is for inspections. Safety inspections are an ongoing, informal process that each associate is responsible for. When you walk your department, inspect the fixtures to be sure each arm has merchandise and that the merchandise is pulled to the end of the arm. Each time you move a fixture, check to be sure the bolts and screws are tightened, resulting in a steady fixture. Inspect the walkway as you pass for merchandise, trash, or spills. J is for job safety analysis. Our company pays close attention to the possible hazards of each task you are assigned. Please don't hesitate to share any idea for improved, safer ways of doing daily tasks with your supervisor. K is for knives, box cutters, and scissor safety. Statistics indicate that knives, box cutters, and scissors are involved in more injuries than any other hand tools. When opening a box, hold the box steady and cut away from the body. Keep your free hand clear. Make sure the blade is sharp. A dull blade can cause you to put too much pressure on the object that you're trying to cut, and the blade could slip and slice you. Use the proper tool for cutting. If you're removing jewelry from the display card, a knife or box cutter is too clumsy. Use scissors or snippers. First aid is very important if you are cut. Even the smallest cut should be cleaned with antiseptic and soap and water to help avoid infection. L is for lifting. The most common workplace injury is a sprain or strain of the back. Lifting or carrying items, if done incorrectly, increases the potential for an injury. Think of the least stressful way to get the job done. Use a dolly instead of carrying. Break a large load down into smaller loads. Plan the flattest, straightest route to your destination before lifting. Once you're ready to lift, lift a corner of the object to test for weight and stability. Don't try to move a load unless you are sure it's within your lifting capacity. Warm up your back with simple bends and stretches. Set your feet solidly on the ground, slightly apart, creating a good base to begin lifting. Crouch down as close to the load as possible with legs bent, back straight, and chin tucked in. Lift with the load held close to your body, using only arm and leg muscles, not your back. Keep your back straight throughout the lift. And do not twist while lifting. When you reach the target destination, be sure to place your load on a stable, flat surface, approximately mid-torso height, to avoid unnecessary bending and straining. Lower the load slowly with your knees bent so that your legs do the work. This is what safety experts mean when they say, lift with your legs, not with your back. The use of a back belt may offer support to your back. However, it is no substitute for following proper lifting techniques. M is for MSDS. MSDS is an acronym for Material Safety Data Sheets. Each of the cleaners used in our workplaces contain chemicals. Just because we're familiar with a chemical doesn't mean that we should regard it lightly. Our company wants to help you work safely with these substances. That's why there's a Material Safety Data Sheet, or MSDS, available at your job site for every chemical that you will be exposed to on the job. Each MSDS tells you what the chemical is, who makes or sells it, and where they're located. Why the chemical is hazardous, how you can be exposed to hazards and what conditions could increase the risk, how to handle the substance safely, what protection to use while working with it, what to do if you are exposed, how to handle a spill or emergency. The MSDS is there for you. If you use a chemical, read the MSDS and the label on the container to follow safety warnings and mixing instructions. Be certain there's plenty of ventilation before you mix chemical substances and follow directions when pouring. If you have any questions about MSDS or about the chemicals in your workplace, ask your supervisor. N is for near misses. An actual accident isn't hard to remember. You may still have the pains or scars to remind you from being injured as a child. But a near miss is often forgotten. How can we turn a close call into a contribution to safety? Well, first, recognize it as a warning. Next, correct the situation or remove the hazard that almost caused an accident. Constant safety awareness on everyone's part is the most important factor in accident prevention. So, what do you do after a near miss where fortunately no one is hurt? Well, after taking a moment to feel thankful, you take action to prevent what could be a harmful accident next time. O is for overhead work. Shepherd's hooks, step stools, and ladders are designed for working over your head and above your reach. Don't stand on totes, boxes, chairs, or other substitutes. Remember to inspect all ladders and step stools before each use. Don't use ladders or step stools that are wobbly, missing rungs, or in any way appear unsafe. Shepherd's hook is designed for overhead reaching to get one clothing item. It should be stored at the cash wrap stand. If it won't reach what you need, use a step stool or ladder. Step stools are designed for reaching items just above head level. If what you need is higher, use a ladder. Step stools are only for quickly getting up and down, not for tasks that will take more than a minute. Never use a shoe stool as a step stool. Be sure to return the step stool to its designated storage area when you're finished using it. Use a ladder when you work above head level for long periods. If possible, have another associate act as a spotter while you're on a ladder. Before using, inspect the ladder to ensure it's in good working condition. Do not climb higher than the third rung from the top. Be sure your shoes are not slippery. Do not lean or overreach. You could lose your balance and fall. Move the ladder closer to your work. Hold on with both hands when climbing up or down. Do not leave items on top of the ladder when you climb down. They might fall and hit someone on the head. P is for pins and security tags. The most common injuries from pins and security tags happen here in a dressing room when a customer takes off her shoes to try on clothes and steps on pins or security tags. It's important to check each dressing room after each use to make sure the floor is clear. Injuries can also occur if someone pulls a security tag apart and places it in the pocket of a pair of jeans. When another unsuspecting customer tries on those jeans, they may be scratched. Check the merchandise the customers leave in dressing rooms or don't buy to be sure they don't have extra tags in their pockets. Q is for questions about safety. When it comes to your safety, your coworkers' safety, and your customers' safety, the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. Your supervisor will always welcome your questions, comments, and suggestions about safety. R is for rolling racks. All associates rely on rolling racks to move merchandise onto and off of the sales floor. Undeniably, rolling racks are a vital tool in the operation of our stores. Unfortunately, all too often, rolling racks and customers, they don't mix. Store associates pride themselves on following merchandise presentation directions by setting fixtures in neat, tidy rows. But merchandise presentation directions don't define a place for rolling racks. And because of how they're used, they can end up anywhere at any time. Customers are creatures of habit. They expect neat, tidy rows of fixtures, but they may not anticipate an out-of-line rolling rack. Worse, they may not take the precaution of watching out for rolling racks. What's the solution? You are the solution. Verify that ends are marked with brightly colored tape or painted yellow. Do not place racks unattended in paths or aisles where customers walk. Designate a specific location in each department that presents the least opportunity for a potential hazard. Empty rolling racks should be taken off the sales floor as soon as possible. If you're interrupted by a customer, make sure the rolling rack is not placed where it might trip someone. As soon as you're finished assisting the customer, get back to the rack immediately. S is for slips, trips, and falls. Like most accidents, slips, trips, and falls are preventable. Our company is proud of having developed a culture of safety. Your role in that culture is to become and remain safety conscious. Immediate care and prompt attention to slippery surfaces, obstacles and walkways, or unsafe ladder use will prevent most falls. Every associate is personally responsible for noticing, correcting, and reporting conditions that could cause slips, trips, or falls. T is for training. Safety training serves two purposes. One, it provides information you can use to stay safe. And two, it reminds you to use that information. This video is only the first safety training you'll receive as an associate of our company. In the future, you will attend regular store meetings with safety training, and each of our company's newsletters contain educational and motivational articles on safety. Take a moment to read them. U is for unsafe conditions. In order to develop into a top-notch safety associate, you have to learn to take action when you see an unsafe condition. Don't wait for an accident to happen. We've probably all made the following comment at some point in our life. That's an accident waiting to happen. Well, what do we mean by that? We meant that we saw an unsafe condition or safety hazard. When you do, take action immediately. Don't wait for an accident to happen. Correct the situation by yourself if you can. If it's too much to do alone, notify a member of management immediately. V is for violence in the workplace. Our company has a clearly stated policy on workplace violence. Read more about signs to watch for and defensive tactics in your Associate Guide to Health and Safety. W is for work preparation. Good general health and total well-being are prerequisites to a productive and injury-free workplace. Tired workers are accident-prone workers, so get all the sleep you need before coming to work. Also, 50% of all lower back problems are due to poor muscle tone and flexibility. Read more about work preparation stretches in your Associate Guide to Health and Safety. X is for X-ray. There are no X-rays in your workplace. However, there are low-intensity laser beams in the handheld merchandise scanners in the stores. They are not hazardous, but it's not a good idea to look directly into them or to point them at another person. Y is for you. You are the most important ingredient for maintaining our culture of safety and achieving our ultimate safety goal: 0 accidents.